Yeah. There you go. Okay. Hey, this is Mike Dodds with Offroad Diction. We're here today to talk about proper suspension and bump stopping for going off-road, taking your vehicle, flexing it out. A lot of people think flex is the end-all be-all, but proper bump stopping with that flex is very important. As you can see on this Jeep, it's missing a control arm. It's got quite a bit of other damage under here. It bent its sway bar end link into dang near at 90. What a lot of this was caused from was, one, they were going up an obstacle or down an obstacle that was putting the vehicle in a serious flex. Once the vehicle went past its point of center of gravity, it put a lot of weight onto the control arm. As you can see here, tore off the bracket that goes right here. On the axle side, it bent the frame side bracket. Not saying that bump stops would have completely saved it from doing this kind of damage, but from what we can see, it was a major part of the damage to this Jeep. We get a lot of people in here that want to lift their vehicles, Jeeps, trucks, Toyotas, and the biggest thing about a lift, where you should put the most amount of your money, is in the suspension of the vehicle. Make sure you're getting the proper suspension for what you're planning to do with that vehicle. Make sure that the people that are installing it know what they're doing and that they're going to put the proper bump stopping on that. Converse with them and let them know what you're planning to do with the vehicle. A vehicle that's going to spend its whole life on the road, we're going to bump stop it differently than a vehicle that's going to spend a lot of time off-road. But what we always want to do is make sure it's safe and stable while you're wheeling it. A couple other things we noticed in this suspension, I'm not going to name the suspension kit that's on it. It falls short in a lot of categories. One of our favorite suspensions we use here is a metal cloak. We really like the Game Changer, but the True Dual Rate does a really good job too on its own. It allows us to do all the adjustability we need to do in a vehicle to get it to where you can get a maximum ride, get maximum performance in the off-road community, and also in drivability on the road. As you can see, like I was showing, this one didn't give any extra support for any of the bracketry. So once she put a lot of weight on it and totally flexed it out, it just tore this one apart.
So this whole mount is actually bent compared to this one, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
What happened was when the arm tore off, it pushed back into this bracket, which caused the bracket to warp out.
Gotcha.
It's going to have to be replaced now because of the damage it did to the bracket.
Yeah.
So what we have here is a Game Changer and an assurance kit on the front end. After seeing the last Jeep, we thought we'd like to show you kind of some of the things that we do to prevent those kind of catastrophic failures. So to start off, what we have is, you'll start with the steering. What we did was a TerraFlex HD steering. It comes with a bigger tie rod, more sturdy drag link setup. We use the track bar from the Game Changer setup. This is a great setup for steering and daily driving. It's not, to the rock crawler type deal, but for the person that's going to wheel 10% of the time or less, this is a beautiful setup. It's very strong, and it also allows us to readjust it if it feels like you're starting to get some slop after we install it. Coming back to the suspension, this is a Game Changer setup. Everything's fully adjustable. We did an assurance kit on this one, so these have been strengthened with a skid plate system. If you look close enough, you can see where there's been holes drilled on both sides of the axle to weld in the sleeve. And also we did knuckle braces on it to keep the knuckles from bending. So up here, if you can see, there's some bump stopping we've put in. So what we do is after we installed the kit, we flexed it out and seen where the proper bump stopping would be for this vehicle and for what they were talking about for what they're going to use it for. So what this allows for, it strengthens the axle to allow it to deal with more stress from flexing, from hitting bumps, from going over obstacles, because that puts a lot of stress on these axles with 35 or bigger tires. A lot of people like to call these 44s. They're actually a 44 pumpkin with internals, but the outers are 30s with 30 knuckles. A couple of the other things, like I was saying, we put a skid plate system onto these lower brackets, which helps strengthen them. It's welded at 3 different points to help keep it from ripping off, help protect it from rocks, things of that order. We just thought we'd do a real quick short video, show everybody, suspension is where you should really be thinking about putting your money at, especially on Jeeps, trucks, Toyotas, any of these. The suspension is everything. It's the foundation to your vehicle, and then tires are right after that. This is one of those cases you get what you pay for. See you next time.
All right, one more time because your phone went off.